Hello everyone, I am Anjana Adhyapak and today I will be just discussing on pre-formulation study on semi-solid dosage forms, and I will be emphasizing more on Ayurvedic preparations. So my topics would be, the objective of this slide would be, of this discussion would be pre-formulation and its importance, semi-solid dosage forms, skin anatomy, factors affecting skin penetration, pre-formulation in semi-solid dosage forms, and I would conclude. Preformulation. So you need to know what you mean by preformulation. So preformulation can be defined as or described as the process of optimizing a drug through determination of those physical and chemical properties considered important in the formulation of a stable, effective and safe dosage form. The preformulation influences selection of a drug, formulation components, manufacturing process, determination of appropriate closures and containers, development of analytical methods, synthetic route of the active ingredient, toxicological strategy, and compatibility with excipients. So what is the need of pre-formulation studies? Either in allopathy or in Ayurveda. But here I would be discussing Ayurveda, so I will emphasize on Ayurveda. So it is to provide safe and efficacious medications or medicines, then patient compliance to certain forms of drug dosage forms like powders, that is churna, as it is called, or medicated oils, that is Grita Thaila, as it is called, to reduce the dose of certain drugs, to enhance the bioavailability of drugs like gogurus, then to research and manufacture newer combinations, to utilize the modern technology of drug manufacturing while keeping the essence of Ayurveda principles intact. Now, let us just go through quickly the classification of Ayurveda based on compositions. So, Ayurveda formulations have one, that is the Kashta Aushadhi or the herbal medicine. Then you have Rasa Aushadhi, which contains metals and minerals. Then you have, in Kashta Aushadhi, you have either the single substance drugs, that is like Amlaki, that is which contains only Amla or Ashwagandha. Then you also have multi-ingredient, like you have Triphala Churna and Sitoplati, which contain more than one ingredient. And in Rasa Aushadhi again, you have single substance drugs, that is you have Godanti Tankan, Swarna or Loha Bhasma, or you have multi-ingredient like you have Tribhuvan Kirti Rasa. So the properties of formulations in Ayurveda, that is the Rasa, which gave a sensation of taste perceived by the tongue after coming in contact with the drug. So there are a total 6 different tastes that we know, not only with medication but also with when we have food we realize, and those are described as Madhura, that is it is sweet, Amla, which is sour as we know, Lavana, that is salty, Katu means pungent, Tikta means bitter, and Kashaya, which means astringent. So these are the main tastes that you have. Then coming to, you have, first is the sensation of the taste. Second is the guna, that is what is the property it contains. So the property refers to a specific property that the drug possesses. So it could possess an anthelmintic effect, or it could have an anti-emetic effect. So these are the different properties that it has. Then you have virya, that is the potency, that is it is the energy that a herb possesses, releases during digestion. So that is the virya, that is the amount of the feeling that it can release. Then you have vipaka, that is a post-digestive effect. It refers to the post-digestive effect that a drug has on the body. Then you have the prabhava, that is the unique power of the herb, that is what it makes you feel. Then you have the karma, that is the therapeutic action, that is the drug manifests on the drug or on the body. So now coming to the semi-solid dosage forms in Ayurveda. Now if you compare the semi-solid dosage forms in allopathy to Ayurveda, you will find that in allopathy most of the semi-solid dosage forms are all for topical applications. So there is not much that no semi-solid preparations which are taken internally. However, most of the semi-solid dosage forms in Ayurveda are both for topical as well as for internal. Like for example, you have the Kalka, which is a syrup which is to be taken internally. Now what does Kalka contain? It contains fresh herbs grounded into a fine or coarse paste which is called as Kalka, and if the plant does not yield appropriate quantities of the juice, Kalka is prepared. So it is a concentrated preparation. So it has quite an amount of fiber, and therefore it is useful in digestive disorders because it stays longer in the gut. It is a soft paste prepared by both wet and dry drugs prepared by grinding wet and dry drugs. It is usually used for external applications, and if taken internally, it is also recommended. The dose is around 12 grams per day. So kalka is also used in the preparation of oils to add specific color, fragrance and medicinal properties. So some examples of such forms are Nimba kalka, Trifala kalka and Rasona kalka. Then you have the avaleha. This is another type of semi-solid preparation which is prepared either by adding jaggery or sugar, and it is boiled with a prescribed drug. The decoction of drug or its juice to get a semi-solid preparation is known as avaleha, and this contains an aqueous medium, that is kashaya, and a substrate which could be sugar, sugar candy or jaggery, and the aushadha dravyas, that is a powdered drug, and it contains a lipid medium, that is it could be grita, taila, and additives like honey or gingerly oil or salt. Then you have the rasakriya. So rasakriya is a semi-solid preparation where the swarasa is extracted, boiled down to thick consistency so as to obtain a semi-solid preparation known as rasakriya. It is used mainly for the bitter drugs, so it will be easier for consumption and the dosage of the drug can be minimized. The process of the rasakriya is considered to be similar to the preparation of the aqueous extraction of the drug, and it is considered to contain all the active principles as that of the whole drug. So the dosage of the drug can be reduced by giving the drug in the rasakriya form, and also the palatability of the drug is still more increased by adding sugar or jaggery to the rasakriya and preparing it as a syrup. Then you have the lepa. It is in the form of paste meant for external applications on the body, and these are known as lepa. There are many lepa preparations which are in practice, which include the Sindhuradi lepa and Pathyadi lepa. So these semi-solid dosage forms in allopathy, like I said, are ointments, creams, pastes, gels and suppositories. Ointments are semi-solid preparations, applications to the skin or mucous membranes. Ointments may be medicated or non-medicated. Non-medicated ointments are used for the physical effects that they provide, such as protectants, emollients or lubricants. Then you have the creams, that is the pharmaceutical creams are semi-solid preparations containing one or more medicinal agents dissolved in either oil in water or water in oil emulsion. Creams have a relatively soft, spreadable consistency. Then pastes, which are semi-solid preparations, and they are intended for application to the skin. They generally contain a larger portion of solid material, such as 25%, than the ointments, and therefore they are stiffer. Then you have gels, which are aqueous colloidal suspensions of the hydrated forms of insoluble medicaments. Then you have the jellies. These are the transparent or translucent non-greasy semi-solids, and they contain more water than gels. Then you have the plasters. These are solid or semi-solids made by incorporating medicaments in resinous or waxy bases, which are melted and spread on a suitable backing material. Then we have suppositories, which are stiffened semi-solid dosage form intended to insert into the body orifices where they melt, soften or dissolve to exert local or systemic effect. The types are rectal suppositories, pessaries, urethral bogies, nasal bogies, ear cones. Then we need to slightly know the mechanism of skin penetration if we are talking about semi-solids when are going to be applied topically. So therefore we have to see that these drugs have to pass through the epidermis and to the dermis, then to the subcutaneous layer. Then we have the factors that affect penetration, that is the rate and extent of a drug that penetrates the skin, which depends on the physicochemical properties of the drug, that is the molecular weight, partition coefficient, lipid solubility and aqueous solubility, the type of vehicle used and the concentration of the drug in the vehicle, and the skin condition. So the parameters for pre-formulation study of Ayurveda drug are the organoleptic properties, stability, purity, hygroscopicity, particle size and shape, binding properties, solubility and dispersibility, interaction with excipients, drug-drug interaction, and concept of incompatibility. Organoleptic, that is those which will include color, odor, taste and touch. Then you have purity, that is to find out, that is the most important aspect, that is for every compound to depend, it will depend on its dose and toxicity, and the limit of impurity is going to be specified. Then you have the particle size and shape, which is important when it comes to the penetration through the skin. Then you have solubility and dispensability, that is important physical chemical property because it affects the bioavailability of the drug, the rate of the drug release into the dissolution medium, and consequently the therapeutic efficacy. Then you have the stability. So before any new compound is taken up for clinical trials, stability profile of such drug substances is very much needed, and it has to be done. The stability testing is a primary tool used to assess the shelf life and storage conditions for pharmaceutical products. And hygroscopicity, which is done by Carl Fischer or the gravimetric method. Then you have the interaction with excipients, that is it should not have any contraindications. Then drug-drug interaction has to be performed before going into the proper formulation. Then the concept of compatibility is one of the basic principles of Ayurveda, that no two ingredients having incompatibility to each other must be formulated, and new combinations of different plant materials should be searched and studied for the therapeutic use also. Then physicochemical parameters like penetration, texture analysis, effect of light, partition coefficient and spreadability and permeation enhancers have to be studied. So penetration is we need to optimize the delivery of the drug through various layers, and therefore a lot of other methods and methods are there to find the penetration. And texture analysis like hardness, cohesiveness, adhesiveness and gumminess has to be checked for. Then it can be done by stringiness and spreadability. Permeation enhancers are those which allow the drug to penetrate faster and better. Then most commonly used are alcohols, amines and amines, cyclodestrins, and physical approaches like iontophoresis and sonophoresis can also be used. So the industry should develop new compositions keeping the basic principles of the Ayurvedic pharmaceutics and therapeutics in foresight. It can be concluded that formulations is a proactive phase that deals with transformation of the new chemical entity into a safe, effective and most importantly stable pharmaceutical formulation. Thank you.